11 weeks ago, I had a laser procedure that promised tighter jawline, firmer skin, and all of this without surgery. Did it deliver? That's what we're about to find out. Hello lovely people, welcome to my YouTube channel, Hey Spring Chicken. My name is Cordelia, and if you're a returning viewer, it's really good to have you back. And if you're new here, welcome. We cover all things beauty and skincare on this channel, particularly for the mature lady. And today's topic, well, it actually started back in May. I had a procedure called Endosculpt, otherwise known as Endolift, and this was supposedly a minimally invasive procedure which targets the jowl area underneath here and tightens the skin and overall gives a younger and more youthful look to the skin. Now, I had my expectations set at a realistic level, or so I thought. So I had my consultation with the esthetician and I was curious, but I was also apprehensive. If you have thought about this sort of procedure, then this film is going to really interest you. Even if you haven't, it's going to interest you because I'm going to tell you things that they probably don't. So let's go back to the 20th of May. I just want to say before we go into the 20th of May footage, I am not medically trained and this is my own personal experience. And if you're going to have a procedure like this, always consult a qualified medical professional before making any major decisions. With that being said, let's go back. Hi guys, it's 20th of May and I am sitting here barefaced with no makeup on, and that is because I am about to head into Brighton for a procedure, and this procedure is called Endosculpt Laser, formerly known as Endolift. What makes this so interesting is that it is minimally invasive. I have not been disappointed with my skin over the last 3 years. In fact, my skin has never looked better, but there are a couple of areas that I would really like to see some improvement, and that is the droopy skin around my jowls, these bits here. Often the editor will say, don't purse your lips, and I'm not, it's just it naturally goes into this crease. Now, no amount of serums and creams or sheet masks are going to stop what is naturally happening to a 67-year-old woman. But there are certain treatments that don't require surgery that may be able to help. And exactly this time last year, I had a treatment called Lipofirm. Now, without a doubt, it improved my skin texture. It even lifted, I didn't even know I had a double chin, but it did help to lift that. However, it was supposed to address the sagging jowls, and I was a little bit disappointed. I was reading about Endosculpt Laser. Let me tell you what it actually is. Endolift utilizes a specialized laser system delivered through ultra thin optical fibers inserted under the skin. So there is an amount of invasion to the skin, but it is supposedly minimal. The key benefits are said to be skin tightening, enhances the skin elasticity by stimulating collagen and elastin production. Now, I know that when you have anything that adds trauma to the skin, then that is what will happen. The collagen will be released, it will look younger, it will look plumper. But I want more than that. So fat reduction, it targets and reduces localized fat deposits, such as under the chin or along the jawline. Most patients resume normal activities within a day or two, so there will be bruising. So that is what I am going to have today. The potential risks are that it will be bruising and redness for a couple of days. I think I can live with that. So I'm going into it this time. Low expectations, but I do expect to see some improvement. But apparently 4 months later will be when I see the maximum improvement, and it is said to last for 4 years. Because I'm having it locally, it is going to cost me $1,100. It is still a chunk of money. The editor's face. It is still a chunk of money. I do realise that I am lucky with my skin, but I sit here in front of you guys every single week and I am conscious of it, and I just think if this will address it and it lasts for 4 years, then I think that's reasonable. I will come back to you in a few weeks. I will add some pictures of immediately after surgery, and I will see you the other side. See you soon. Hi guys, it's been 4 days since I had the Endolift procedure, and the eagle-eyed amongst you will notice that there is significant change. So I thought we'd do today a little bit of a roundup of what happened, how I'm feeling. So this is what I'm looking like. So here are what I would say is the bruising. Now this is expected. I was told by the aesthetician that I would get bruising here, but this is very normal for this procedure. The editor has just asked me how I'm feeling now 4 days later. It's quite bizarre really, because my mouth isn't functioning properly and I can't eat very well. So it's still quite a lot of numbness around this part of my mouth. I'm feeling okay, there's not a problem. It's just that there is certainly some swelling there. Editor has just reminded me that I had a bit of a tough reaction to the anaesthetic, and he's right, because he had to pick me up from the clinic. And I've never reacted badly, but I did this time. I nearly fainted. It was scary at the time, but the editor was very calm, picked me up, took me home, and I just went to bed. The most surprising thing is I wasn't expecting it would be like I'm still at the dentist, you know, that feeling when you can't drink out of a cup. So that has been the most surprising thing. I'm still a bit swollen 4 days later.
And a bit dribbly.
And a bit dribbly, yeah. Today I should have been doing a normal film day, and I feel a little embarrassed about my face because I can't talk properly. I don't like how I look. I know it's only temporary, and I have to keep reminding myself I chose this. It's been difficult, but I'm not sorry, but it has been quite difficult. I will come back to you and have a little check-in, and then we'll do a final check-in before and after the whole works in a month's time. See you then. 11 weeks ago, I had a laser procedure that promised tighter jawline, firmer skin, and all of this without surgery. What is my honest verdict? Now we're 11 weeks down the line. I'm honestly still not sure how I feel, and that is because when I went into this procedure, I had some expectations. I was going to have the tighter jawline. Now I'm not sure that it has actually achieved that. And I have to say that recovery was slower than I had hoped. So all in all, I'm feeling a bit disappointed, especially given the cost and the extended recovery time, which I didn't know about. They said to me that the downtime would be 1 or 2 days, which it was. But what I didn't know was how long the healing would take. I honestly hadn't expected that I would be numb for 8 weeks. Now in the original film, after 4 days, I showed you the bruising, I showed you what I looked like, and I said I would come back after 4 weeks when hopefully I would be healed, recovered, and looking miraculously younger. After 4 weeks, I was still numb and I was still not talking properly. You could probably see that in previous films. So I did not want to do filming after 4 weeks. There seemed no point. So the healing took overall 10 weeks for the numbing to go, and I still don't think I'm 100% now. I thought that I was just very unlucky, but apparently not. It's more common than you think. Now, when I went into this, I had seen lots of promotional before and after, and they looked brilliant. I don't want you to be swayed by the promotional before and after. Ask to see the average person and what their before and after looks like. My aesthetician had good reputation, and there were so many success stories. Even his own mother looked brilliant. So I had no reason to doubt. I went into this procedure hopeful and even a little excited. I think over the course of 11 weeks, I've become a little frustrated, and perhaps therefore I am disappointed. So what might be a really good idea is if we look at some before and after photos, because it could be when we look at those, you can actually see the difference. So here we are with the before and afters, and I have to say that if I'm looking at it critically, I can't see a huge amount of difference. I can see some lift on the right side down my lower jowl, but on the left side here, it looks a little bit larger. I could be imagining it. Now, the clinic have also said they're going to send some before and after photos. I don't want to be cynical here, but I am still waiting for their photos, and it could be that there isn't a huge difference in them and they didn't see the point in sending them to me. But we have our own pictures, and the editor has just made this great observation. If you're expecting dramatic difference in 12 weeks, then you need a facelift, and this ain't it. So overall, I'm looking at the before and after photos. Yes, I can see difference, but not as much as I had hoped. I don't regret trying it, I really don't. And in fact, when I saw the aesthetician a week ago, he said, let's come back in a week's time, which makes it 12 weeks. And what he suggested we would do is a touch up on this side, because we believe that this side has not gone as well as the other side, and he would use smaller laser probes with no extra charge. So that is on the table. Will I go ahead with the touch-up? That is a really good question. I haven't yet made my decision, but given the healing process before, I am loath to do that. But this is a story that may have another ending later down the line. So the question I have to say is, if someone is thinking of having this procedure, what would I tell them at this point? I would say go in with very clear expectations. Don't necessarily be sold on all of the promotional before and after. It's like looking at a review on Trustpilot, and if you only focused on the 5-star reviews, then hey, that's really good. And that's not what I do. I give you the 2-star review as well. If you're thinking about this procedure, I want you to think about, it's not just the downtime, it's not just the time out that you're going to have this procedure, it's the next few weeks, because my guess is most people will have quite bad bruising. I also think a lot of people will suffer with that numbness sensation. So knowing when you go into this, you might be numb for a little while, knowing that it isn't going to give you the dramatic facelift, now you're ready to ask yourself, do I want this procedure? And the editor also asked me, if I know what I know now, would I have this treatment again? Yes, I would. I would suggest that at this point, going in with realistic expectations is perhaps the best way forward. Although it is said to be minimally invasive, I have to say it's about as invasive as I would like to go. So I hope this has given you a clearer idea, and if it has, press the like button, write a comment, because honestly, your comments help not just other viewers, but anyone that's thinking about it. Ding the bell, that will alert you to content that we're uploading like this every single week, and subscribe, because when you subscribe, it lets the algorithm know we're doing something right. But in the meantime, if you have made it this far, thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day, your morning, your weekend, wherever you are in the world, and I will see you soon. Thank you.